Hey, welcome to the Tavern Talks podcast. I'm Sam, also known on Twitch as It's Waffles Royale, and I am joined by... I'll let you introduce yourselves.
Sure, yeah. My name is Martin. Twitter is True Golden Eagle, and Instagram is Golden Eagle 200. I don't post any, but you're free to follow on there.
And I'm Nick. My Twitch is Unsalted Bork.
Don't forget the underscore.
Unsalted_Bork. Thank you, Sam.
Links will be in the description, as always.
Nice.
So, kicking off this week with the biggest piece of news I could find. Take-Two parent company to literally what seems to be everything in existence. I know they own Rockstar. They've officially acquired Zynga. I think that's how you pronounce it. And they're sort of known more for the social media games like Farmville and games of that sort. Take-Two has bought them for $12.7 billion.
That's such a high amount.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I was trying to find what they've made before the podcast. I'm like, what have they made? I'm looking through it all. I only know Farmville.
Yep.
I know none of this. Why is it so expensive to buy Farmville?
It just makes me laugh because Take-Two owns properties like they own GTA, Grand Theft Auto, they own Civilization, they own BioShock, but now they own Farmville. It just kind of makes me laugh.
It is funny, yeah.
They made Mafia Wars.
Okay.
Mafia Wars.
Mafia Wars.
Okay. I'm looking at their site. They have Merge Dragons as well, which is the big one. Yeah, so some and Words with Friends too. The Harry Potter puzzles and spells. Okay, fair enough. It's not that bad. It's still excessive, but man, yeah, too much trouble.
But these companies only deal in excess.
Yeah.
Like the prices are always fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I know Zynga, their big speciality is making free-to-play games, and especially mobile games. So it just makes you Take-Two are obviously clearly wanting to make more moves into that area.
Yeah.
But Take-Two as a whole, they've got the fingers in that many different pies now, they're making money from console games, PC games, soon to be mobile games, and it's just...
They're set up, definitely.
Yeah, they're sort of setting it up. Although it would be funny to get a Farmville level that's set in, I don't know, San Andreas.
That would be good.
Just
attend to your crops and the helicopter comes crashing down.
Tend into your crops where you just hear Big Smoke with his "I love two number nines." I'm like, what? So, yeah, hilariously, the big news of the week isn't one that has much to say. Take-Two acquires Zynga for $12.7 billion. Good luck, Zynga. Good luck, Take-Two. I feel like we've been down the acquisition road many times already. So, yep, good luck, and let's see what you come out with.
Hell yeah!
So, swiftly jumping on into that little avenue we call what you've been playing. I've been playing Battlefront 2, so I always get them mixed up. I played some Battlefront 2 earlier with you, Nick.
Hello.
It was good. I like that mode that you showed me.
Yeah,
it's a good mode.
It's a good game.
Which mode?
We were playing the co-op mode, so it's basically 4 real players versus a team of AI.
Yeah.
And that is a good fucking game. Everyone shat on it when it first came out, but because of the microtransaction stuff. But the default said oh, this is a shit fucking game because of this stuff. But no, it's always been a good game. People just fucking... They see one thing about a game and their minds are set on, right, this is dog shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like...
Yeah, they take a look at the larger picture of it all.
Yeah.
You know, and they even changed it, and it's like, oh, well, okay, fair enough. We wanted like longevity with the game, because they're saying it's like, oh, it take like 30 hours, I think, to unlock a Vader was the big one. You know, it's like 30,000 credits or something. It's like 30 hours. Oh my god, it's too much. And it's like they changed it and they fixed it. Like, okay, fair enough. We wanted longevity with the game. We want people to be playing it for a long time. We get people want to start playing as heroes straight away. Sure, make it easier for everyone then.
Yeah.
And they changed it because of what people wanted.
Their support for that game was long and good.
Yeah.
They did some good shit for that game. I mean, like, reworked the fucking lightsaber combat.
Yeah.
At one point, which is just like, on a shipped game, that's unheard of nowadays.
Heavy duty work.
Yeah.
Generally, a lot of companies, you know, double down on it. Like, no, this is good. How can we fix it? And just start tweaking it and tweaking it and tweaking it. And it keeps getting worse and worse because the fundamentals are what's wrong.
Yeah.
You know? Ewok Hunt, though. No, that was a good game mode.
Oh man, I love that mode.
It was so good.
When people were actually playing it, at least.
Yeah.
Those of you that don't know, Ewok Hunt was basically a fucking like horror game.
It was a horror game for us.
It was
You were
like,
like,
two people started as Ewoks, and they had like the third person camera, they had night vision, they had all this shit, and everybody else was like stormtroopers that had to find weapons in the woods and just survive in first person.
And it was called Survive the Night, and you had a little flashlight, and it was pitch black.
Yeah.
And you just hear people go down. It's like they were lost to the night, didn't it? Or something. It's like, what the hell? We're just people are dropping and they're flying down. Like all of a sudden, you hear your friends screaming because they're getting attacked by an Ewok. Like you turn around, they're just dead, and they get dragged into a bush. It's like, oh, they don't get dragged. It felt like it.
There were also like random traps dotted around, so like there'd just be fucking rocks falling on your head and stuff like that. But then last time I played it, the stormtrooper side, they'd found a really easily exploitable place where you could basically just hang out and no Ewoks could possibly get to you.
Okay.
Like, the majority of the team were just there, so we never had enough Ewoks to even make a dent on them.
Yeah, that's a shame because I stopped playing it before all that happened. It's a shame that happened. But it's still a very good game mode. If one map fault is not, it doesn't diminish the game mode itself.
No, it was just an unfortunate thing, and because supporters stopped, they can't like solve that issue by putting boxes where the people jumped up or whatever.
Yeah.
So that game was just kind of ruined from now on, which is a shame.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, that's pretty much the only game mode I actually play on that. And it's like the whole, here are 3 points, go capture one of them, or if you're the opposing team, go defend all 3 of them. Then when those are captured or defended, the next 3 points appear, or 2 points, and it gets to like one final point, like King of the Hill style, and everyone's just fighting over that. Good.
It's good.
Sorry, Sam, I cut you off.
No, I'm just saying it is good. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. It's solid, especially if you can't be asked dealing with people.
Yeah.
Which I can't nowadays, so I just fight AI and I'm happy with it.
That's fair. Yeah.
But yeah, you described Ewok Hunt better than I could have ever described it.
It's genuinely horrific.
Because my description for Ewok Hunt, usually when I tell people, is it's essentially a horror mode where you've been hunted by teddy bears in space Vietnam.
Yeah.
Space Vietnam. That's the greatest.
Essentially how I explain it to anyone who asks me about it.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny because the stormtroopers do generally get owned like America did.
Oh, don't say that. To our American listeners, we love you and respect you, kind of. No, seriously, we gel, we chill, we chill.
Yeah, it's all for the memes and jokes. There's a lot of horrific acts in the world. If you don't take light of them, fucking hell. But yeah, it's such a good game mode though. It's Ewok Hunt. It's like having that. I remember the first time playing it, just hearing, like, I just like screamed like, "Oh my god!" because he got attacked out of nowhere from the side by an Ewok. I just got murdered. I'm sat there like I completely lost him. Last I knew we were together. He screamed. I turned around. He was gone.
I love hearing that like war horn, unless it's like right next to you or above you, and then I just shit my pants and I'm like, nope, done.
It was so good though. Like all the flashes of lights from the gunshots and everything as well. It was it is full on. Like if like these Ewoks are a threat. Yeah. Like they feel like a threat. You feel like you could get murdered by one teddy bear. Like it's that good.
Especially
if you see them, you're okay.
Drop attack on you.
Yeah,
that's just like an instant kill, and they've got like their whole treehouse situation going on above your head.
Yeah, like it's horrific to play, but it was actually balanced as well when I was playing it.
Yeah,
like you know, 100%. you'd win half and lose half, and that's just the way it was. It depended full on your team. Like you generally was getting to the dropship. I never played a match where I didn't get to as a stormtrooper. I didn't get to where the dropship was landing. You know, and trying to clear them off and get into it and stuff. Yeah, it was just genuinely really good. Right then, what else have you been playing then, Sam?
And for my second game of what I've been playing this week, you'd think I'd been playing a lot more, but I haven't. I played a pretty old game from 1999 on the Nintendo 64 called Indiana Jones and the Infernal Machine. Spoiler alert, it's crap.
I love of all the like N64 games you could go back to. You go back to like one of the most fucking obscure ones.
Yeah.
I mean, why not?
Yeah, it's one that's like for an N64 experience, it's not the best at all. It's one of the worst, but why not? If you enjoy Indiana Jones, at least give it a go.
I didn't enjoy it. That's the thing.
Yeah. If you enjoy Indiana Jones, but the game's not good enough to enjoy.
I like the films, but that game has just made me realise that what were they thinking making one on a Nintendo 64?
Yeah.
So is it a game like... Is it a movie game?
It's licensed, as in like the characters are licensed.
Right.
But it doesn't tie into any film. It's like a total standalone adventure. It's kind of like there was one they did for James Bond years ago called Bloodstone. That was a totally just separate game-only story. It was like not tied into anything.
Right.
But my God, if they'd made Bloodstone into a movie, that'd have been brilliant. If they'd have made the Infernal Machine into a movie, there'd have never been an Indiana Jones film ever again.
Maybe that would have been for the best with the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Or what was it? Kingdom of the Crystal Skull? It was something.
It was just Crystal Skull or something. Yeah.
Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was. Yeah, we don't talk about that here.
First two Indiana Jones, those were good.
Never seen one all the way through.
I just pretend. Kingdom of the Crystal Skull doesn't exist.
I forget it does.
Good. Let's
tell a lie. Crystal Skull is the only one I've seen all the way through.
Which is the worst one to watch all the way through.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
We'll have to change that at some point. We'll have to change that.
Right.
So, but yeah, that's literally all I've been playing this week.
Fair enough.
And since your name is next up on this itinerary we have, Martin, what have you been playing or watching this week?
Very busy week. Very busy week. But I managed to lock in a bit of games with Mai, and we ended up playing Grounded.
Right.
Do you know what Grounded is?
That game for a while. That's like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yes, it's the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids ripoff. It's not fully like a ripoff. It always, like, every time I play it, it always has potential, but I'm going to skim over mine because it has been a very busy week. There's not a lot to say on in terms of my game, so I'm getting rid of Grounded first. It's pretty dull, is the main issue with it. Like, you start off and there's just like barely a marker where to go, nothing, no objective really. And eventually you go through and it's like, oh, you find this like lab, you find this thing, go find the chips to go get big. And you're just stuck with nothing else besides a marker where a chip is through an area that you can't physically get through.
Yeah.
Until you want to go through and grind all of the gear and all the equipment that's going to break. And spend 20 years doing that. With just a little bit of background audio with dull combat. It's a shame. It's a shame. It's not a bad game. If you like survival games, then Like, go ahead and play it, and you probably like it.
Is it a good one of those?
For a survival game, yes, I would argue it's a good one.
Right.
I'm just not a huge fan of survival games. When Maya was like, "Go play it with me again."
Yeah.
We took off food and water because it goes too quick, which is always my problem with survival games. You spend half of your time just getting the resources to live and play the game than you do actually playing the game.
Yeah.
So we took that.
Who's played a lot of the forest. The forest has that issue.
Yeah, and that's what I really dislike. So we took that off, and it was better. I could go through and actually get things, but it takes a long time to be able to do anything worthwhile. So it's unless you're going to willing to sit there and just play 5 hours on an early access game, it's not for me. I can see where a lot of people who love survival games will really enjoy it, but it's not for me.
Is Grounded the game with the spider slider?
Yes, for people with arachnophobia can change it.
Yeah, and it just turns it into like polygons or something.
Yeah, so for the people that don't know, like, Grounded is where you get shrunk down and you're in the back garden, and there's all these bugs, there's little fish you can go kill and cook and things. Spiders are the biggest threat in the game, and they will absolutely wreck your shit. And for people who have arachnophobia that don't want to play the game, they have the spider slider. So it'll start taking off the legs, so they're just like a floating like body with a head, and it'll go further and further to where literally they are just like a little like circle with like one eye or something, I think, or 2 eyes or something on the side, and it's a little white circle with no textures. You can go that extreme with it.
That's pretty good.
It is definitely good for those people. It's just a floating white ball. For a lot of people with arachnophobia, just the knowledge of it's a spider is enough to trigger them. But
out of interest, how is that something that it presents up front when you first launch the game? Like how they throw brightness sliders at you and some.
No, it's not. You have to go into the options for it.
I don't know. I feel like that's a mistake.
Yeah, I can't remember now. I loaded it up ages ago and played it, and then I didn't touch it for like 6 months. So maybe on first boot up it does. I honestly couldn't tell you, but this time enough for some when I loaded it up, it didn't come up.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, I couldn't tell you on that.
I'm going to say that'd probably be more important to some people than brightness levels.
Yeah. Yeah. One thing I'm pretty sure it did happen. I would have to fact check this, but I'm pretty sure as well with the spider slider itself, you can toggle to not even have the spider visible when you start toggling the spider at first. So it's not just immediately there, so you can like have it. I think you get like the warning of it will come up or something, before you toggle it, and then you can view it afterwards when it goes down further.
Right.
I think it's a description of it or something, so you don't get triggered by looking at it. I think it has that. I'd have to fact check it, but I remember something like that. Maybe it just took a while to load at the time when I was playing it.
Yeah.
But I can't remember because it's been so long. But it's not bad. But yeah, but to sum up then, for some people who love survival games, definitely their type of game. I can see a lot of people enjoying it, like Matty, who loves survival games.
Yeah.
But it's not for me, and that's why I wanted to gloss over it. It's just something I played.
I've been meaning to try it since that first trailer. I just never bothered getting around to it.
Yeah. If I didn't get I think Matty bought it for me, or maybe it's Game Pass or something. I'm pretty sure it's bought it at the time for both of us to play. If it weren't for that, I wouldn't have played it.
Yeah.
But the next thing, though, so I watched The Conjuring 1 and 2. I've never watched them before, but they're incredibly well directed. Because they're a horror movie, and it's basically about like possessions and ghosts and things that happen. Yeah. And I don't know if either of you have seen The Conjuring.
Never seen them, no.
Okay.
I've seen enough of them in like reviews and stuff like that, but
I'm trying to think if I've seen The Conjuring, and that's purely based more on the fact that I was once dating a girl. I was in a relationship with her. It's not really dating, I was in a proper relationship with her, fuck's sake. And me, her, and her mum went to go see a film, and I'm pretty sure it was The Conjuring, but I can't remember for the life in me if it was The Conjuring.
Yeah, see, because the time with the Annabelle movies and the Insidious movies, they're all part of the same universe with the same people.
They'll just kind of blend together at a certain point.
For a lot of people would, yeah.
Is The Conjuring about the like husband-wife duo?
Yeah, but I think they're all like including Annabelle and things. I think it's I haven't seen Annabelle yet. That's the next one I got on the list to watch. But The Conjuring is the husband and wife duo where they get basically called to a house. The first one they get called to a house in the States. because they live in the States. They get called to a house that's
oh yeah, I've seen it.
possessions. Yeah, and then the second one is where they go to the UK,
Right.
and they do the UK version of it happening. It's actually like the first one was better. Straight up, the first one was better, but it was actually like for the few horror movies I've watched, it was really well directed. I was quite surprised. It was great building the tension through it all. There's a lot of like concerns about what was going to happen, how it was going to play out, things like that. And like the second one, I got invested in certain characters and things. I've watched a lot of horror movies. Like I even watched like one that is disappointing for me, the original Scream movie. It's such a cult classic. Everyone knows Scream, and it was so disappointing because it was more of a comedy than it was a horror movie.
Well, it's like playing on the shtick of those like 80s, 90s horror movies.
It was, yeah.
Cliches of them.
So I get why it was like popular that way, but I went in there expecting something different was all. So I'm being disappointed at that. So like I ain't found like a good horror movie yet, like that really triggers like genuine like fear about it. Generally, I'm all view them as like thrillers. You know, I think one of my favorites is 1408. I really like that movie. I think it's great, and that even isn't like a horror movie. I'm not like scared watching it. It's just a thriller. Like, I'm excited. There's tension to know what's happening. Yeah. But The Conjuring, I'm like, fuck this bitch, fuck that ghost, fuck this doll, fuck this thing, fuck this nun. Like, I'm not having it.
What makes The Conjuring more centered and what was more unsettling for people is the fact that it was based on real people.
Yes.
So
based on true stories for people. Yeah.
Like Ed and Lorraine Warren, who were the protagonists of the film, were real paranormal investigators. Like the Annabelle doll is real.
Yes. I know. It's crazy.
So like that's what always freaked people out about it.
Only it like doesn't look anything. The thing about Annabelle is it looks like a creepy doll. Which I don't find personally unsettling. But if something looks like, if it's a normal fucking doll and creepy shit is happening around it, that is freaky. Like, the Raggedy Ann doll that Annabelle's based on is not creepy looking at all.
No.
But because of, like, all of the supposed accounts of what happened, that's what makes it creepy.
Yes.
Because at one point, Ed and Lorraine Warren had it stored, like, for safety in a case. And there was a sign that said, warning, positively do not open.
Yeah.
And there was instances, I think there was an instance of a guy who actually touched the Annabelle case without permission from the doll. And he rode off and he got killed, like, the same day on a motorcycle crash.
Yeah.
It was just freaky. So that's why them films creep me out.
Yeah. They're good movies though, like, and it's great like having fear of these objects or certain characters and entities. And since all the movies are linked together, like the second one has a character that comes in and and that character is going to come in the Insidious ones, I was told. I hate this fucking character's come in. I'm giving as little spoilers as possible. Obviously, I hate this fucking character's come in. I'm not looking forward to them coming into the next movies. I don't want it. but I'm excited to see. So yeah, but no, I genuinely, like, as far as horror movies goes, definitely some of the better ones. Like, for horror movie fans, I would definitely recommend it for them to watch. Because I've not been scared of those. They've been thrillers. The only time I was ever scared of a horror movie was Darkness Falls when I was like 13 or something. Yeah. And that's because I'd only lost, like, it's about the Tooth Fairy, and I only lost, like, my last baby tooth like a week after I watched the thing. And I'm like, hell no. So that's the only time. But this one's, I'm like, you know what, if I watched this younger, I'd definitely have, like, crapped my pants.
You're gonna wake up with a lot of Raggedy Ann dolls in your house.
If I woke up and there's a Raggedy Ann doll, like, my immediate thought is obviously like Chucky, because that's like a really popular one. See some weird doll. But like, if I immediately thought of like that, it's like, nope. I know a lot of people who are into this stuff. I'm calling them straight away.
I mean,
like, I fixed it for me.
I mean, I can get about 20 of them shipped off Amazon to you for tomorrow.
If I just open a package and that's there, like, I like, that would be good.
No, forget about it. There'd be 20 of them, so you'd be panicking all day.
We could burn them all. Even then, they tried to burn them in the movie. I think at one point, then told at the beginning, it's like it don't even work. It just comes back.
Oh God, yeah, it's bad.
But generally, they're good. They're good at taking like a real story and making it like stretching the truth with it enough to where you know it's stretched the truth, but with the really good direction and things for it.
Yeah.
Enough to where I'm like, yeah, this is like knowing something at least similar and the people believed it, regardless of what you believe, the people believed it themselves.
Yeah.
Like that's happening. That's scary enough as it fucking is. I'm good. But yeah, that's it this week. That's anything worth mentioning. Grounded, yeah, but Conjuring definitely worth watching. And I liked him. I'm looking forward to starting Annabelle at some point soon.
Well,
Right, Nick, what you got? We go for us.
So first up, I'll leave my first game to talk about last. But I have been playing Destiny 2 with John. He wanted to find something on PS5 for us to play, so he suggested that, and I was like, yeah, okay. I've enjoyed some Destiny 2, so why not? I decided to make a new character, and weirdly, they have completely removed the original start of Destiny 2. I don't know if either of you played it.
I have, yeah.
Yeah, the original start was like the tower getting attacked, if you remember. And now it starts with Destiny 1's opening.
Yep.
Like you waking up among a bunch of ruined cars, and then you go through that like facility, you find a modern weapon, and all of this stuff. And eventually it does like change a bit, like there are different NPCs and it doesn't follow it exactly. But you are going through those like Destiny 1 areas on Earth.
Yeah.
Which that kind of took me by surprise. And I played like 600 hours of Destiny 1. So I had seen those zones like repeatedly, and I was kind of tired of them. So I got very quickly bored of Destiny 2, I'll be honest. But even though like they throw in different enemies, they throw in like certain enemies sooner, and they're basically trying to like rush you through the Destiny 1 storyline to catch you up to Destiny 2, to catch you up to the Destiny 2 expansions.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just very quickly fell off of that. The Destiny does have really good fucking shooting though. Like compared to a lot of games nowadays, the shooting feels good.
There's one thing, obviously, years of Bungie making Halo, obviously, they've perfected it quite well. Yeah, I never played Destiny 2. I never played Destiny 1. Like, I didn't even feel like I had to.
It was good at the time, but yeah, I don't really understand why it's in here. I feel like a recap movie would have been, cinematic, not movie, would have been better, and then just throw you into Destiny 2.
Yeah, skip it if you want. Boom, done. Move on.
Yeah.
Do you think it would have sufficed more just from having?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fair.
I think I agree with that, because considering most of your fan base for a second game comes from the first game.
Yeah.
You know, or it's like people telling them about the first game to jump into the second one. Most people catch up by playing the first one anyway. Or they simply don't care and jump into the second one. So you're kind of forcing people to either do something they've already experienced or that they don't care about.
Yeah.
It never seems like a good idea to me.
It also does a weird thing where, like, it brings everyone's... At a certain point, they brought everybody's power level up to the same. So when I started a new character, he was just as good as the character that I had put like 200 hours into.
Yeah.
Because I hadn't played that initial character for like any of the expansions or anything. Just like base Destiny 2, I had put 200 hours into it, got loads of good gear and everything. And now this new character has the same power level as that one, which was a bit weird to me. But
that's disappointing.
Yeah, it's to like get everybody into the expansions quicker, but I feel like there could be a better way to do that than that way. But yeah, I mean, it's still a good game. It throws a bit too much shit at you. Like, with all the expansions, it fills your quest log with like all of this shit. Like, go talk to this person you don't know, go talk to like, this other person that you don't know, to like start all of the expansion content.
Yeah.
And that's just it was just a bit too overwhelming for me. So I was like, sorry, John, find a different game, mate. And yeah. And the second game I've been playing is a game called V Rising, which is an early access isometric survival game about vampires. That is on Steam. It's so it's kind of Diablo without the loot system of Diablo. So you're not constantly getting drops that you are then equipping. You have to like find gear or craft gear, primarily craft gear. And you're building your bases. You're doing your typical Minecraft shit, but on top of that, because you're a vampire, you need to feed.
Yeah.
To like, you've got a blood pool which gets used up if you use like your vampiric abilities. So you have to feed to keep that up. It doesn't go down over time, by the way, which a lot of people are complaining about. There's a sun mechanic, so during the day you have to stay out of the sun, you have to stay in shade, or you can craft like these mist braziers, which essentially just make like a pocket of shadow that you can like live and work in as you're like building your castle, building your base.
Yeah.
People have different like blood types, so you're gonna find like wolves out in the wild, you're gonna find deer, stuff like that. So when you kill them, they'll drop animal hide, which is a material, or they'll drop bones, which are used for different crafting things. But also their deer, for example, their blood type is animal, which will give you certain bonuses depending on the quality of the blood. So you see a deer in the wild, you hover your mouse over it, and it'll say like animal type blood, and then in brackets it'll have a percentage. Yeah. So the higher the percentage, the better quality of the blood. Ideally, obviously, you want like up in the 80s, which is really rare to find. Most things will have like 1 to 10% blood, which gives you a shitty bonus, but still gives you a bonus. And the bonuses are going to be stuff like increase the movement speed from 3% to 15%. And then on top of that, you'll also get like increased crit chance or lifesteal.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So essentially you're wanting to find this really good quality blood and from a source that fits your playstyle. If that makes sense. So there are like camps of humans, there's rogue blood, there's like brawler blood. All will do different things for different playstyles.
Yeah.
I haven't found one that fits mine yet though, but yeah, and it's online. You can set up a server, you can get your friends to join the server with like a password. They recently added single player, which was apparently highly sought after, but nobody's happy that it's been added. I don't get that.
That makes, yeah. I had to wait for a second. I'm like, did I hear him
Yeah,
right?
I had to think then and be like, it's been added because people have wanted it adding, but they're not happy it's been added.
I guess they're not happy with like how it works.
Oh, okay.
I think the game is always online, even if you play single player. And people aren't happy with that. But people in general don't seem very happy with the game. They seem to like the game as a base, but they're saying that like the vampire aspects of it are not good. Which
right.
I don't personally understand, because like sorry, let me start over. Basically saying that the vampire aspect doesn't need to be there.
Okay.
Which I completely disagree, because you're spending all of your time like avoiding the sun and finding good quality blood and fucking turning into wolves and all this shite. So I don't really get what people are on about with that. I'm not in the headspace of people.
So they're saying they want a game that plays like this, but without it being vampire themed. It's the only thing I can think of that it would make any sort of sense if they're not wanting the vampires to be in it.
Yeah.
I think they almost want like a like we were talking about the survival hunger meter before. I think they want that for blood, because your blood is like, if it's ticking down, I have barely noticed it ticking down unless I use an ability.
Yeah.
So it's not essential that you feed.
It's generally like being a vampire. It should be essential that you feed. But then again, you don't want it like a survival game where you just have to spend most of your time getting that resource.
Yeah.
Because that will ruin it.
Exactly. And you're crafting different tools for different jobs. So like your sword is obviously a good combat weapon, but it also does more damage to vegetation than anything else. So easier to cut down bushes and shit like that. You got some like dual axes, which are really good at cutting down trees. Not quite as good in combat. Then you've got like a gigantic fucking mace. It's like an anime style mace. It's ridiculous. That's for like your mining. You got a spear, which is for hunting, which I also use for combat because it does like similar damage to the sword. And all of these different tools have like multiple tiers. So like you start with your bone quality, then like copper, and then that keeps going up. I've only played like 6 hours of the game, I should say. I should put that out there. And each have like their own extra skills that you get depending on the quality of the tool. So when you bring it up to the next tier, you'll unlock like a second attack for the mace, which makes you like leap forward and slam the ground or whatever. They expect you to use each of the tools for different combat scenarios as well. So if you're fighting stone golems, it's best to use the mace, even though the sword does more damage, because the mace does more damage against rocks. Obviously, stone golems are going to be weak to that. And playing that a bit alone, which isn't as fun alone, but I'm also playing it with my brother, and we're enjoying it for now. Like, I'll give you my verdict when I'm 20 hours in or whatever, and maybe I find it incredibly boring by then, but...
We'll find out next week then.
Yeah, it's got a pretty decent character creator. So you can choose like male, female, then there are like 13 faces, 26 hairstyles, some like accessories for your face.
Ooh.
And it's pretty good like accessory option where just going through and it's like showing beards and stuff like that. And then the next option after all of the beards just like completely removes your lower jaw. Or like replaces the lower jaw with like a metal lower jaw, and that
Oh God.
took me by surprise in a pretty funny way.
That's funny.
Yeah, other than that, I've just been playing a bit of Battlefront and a tiny bit of other games here and there, but nothing to write home about.
According to PCGamer.com,
Yes.
Vampire Survival game V Rising sells 1 million and adds offline mode.
Yep.
9 hours ago with Cycle. So they are adding the offline mode then. But apparently that's what they're saying as well, the lack of which had been bothering some folk.
Yeah.
You know? People are just going to find anything that they're not even remotely happy with.
Yeah.
And they jump on there like,
Some
this is
changes
why.
are gonna be like, some people will like some changes, and some people are just going to fucking hate whatever that change was. It's the typical fucking...
Gaming community is just always like that. Which,
they're never happy.
Yeah.
There's one thing about the gaming community you'll always find, fellas, is that if they find something to complain about, even if it's not a big deal, and, you know, most people just rise above it and leave it, they will complain about it, and they will get their fucking mileage out of it.
Yeah.
And I say that because as a gamer myself, I have been part of many of them moments where, like, I could have just let it go, but decided to take the fight to the developer anyway. And it's just insane. Like, people will always find something. You're never going to satisfy everybody.
Nope.
But what you can do is satisfy as many people as you can, and that's your audience.
Yep. Speaking of satisfying, I think it's time we move on to Player's Choice.
Oh.
Yes.
So, the die was rolled last week.
Aye.
And it cast into... And it thrust upon me the duty of telling you what to watch or play. I chose to go with watch a show. And this show is Arcane. It's set in the League of Legends universe, and it's awesome.
Very good. So I think this section is probably going to contain spoilers. So anybody who doesn't wish to be spoiled on Arcane, which I would 100% recommend you go watch Arcane, is very much worth the watch. Anybody who doesn't want to be spoiled or doesn't give a shit,
stick around. I guess we'll put timestamps in. What way of like? I guess we can put in timestamps for spoilers.
There's going to be timestamps down in the comments until I can be not asked doing that anymore.
Yeah, so you have time to pause it still. There's still time. We watched the first 3 episodes, right? Is that what we're going to be discussing?
Yes. Well, some of us watched the first.
Yeah,
some watched the first 2. I only had time to watch the first 2 because I'm a slow-ass person. And
some of us have watched more than just 3 episodes.
We'll make sure it's no more than 3 discussed in the podcast then, right? I think it's a good rule.
Yeah, it's a good rule of thumb.
I mean, we can just discuss the first 2 if you prefer. I'm down with that.
I don't mind. It's up to you 2. Like, I do want to watch more. So if you're like, ooh, I don't really want to spoil this for mine, then don't worry about it.
So the objective was 2, but yeah, the objective was 3.
The objective was 3. I assumed that they'd only be like 20 minutes because they're animated.
No.
And I looked up the first one, it was like 41 minutes. I'm like, oh, I don't have time anymore. But I watched that, and I watched the second episode, which was like 35 minutes. Yeah. So I watched the first 2.
Do you know when you watched the Conjuring 1 and 2?
Yeah.
You could have watched them then.
I could have done.
Never assume the runtime.
It's in the runtime, and then I was like, oh, it was easy. It was easy to like. At the first time, I would be like waiting a bit to kind of like, oh, we're going to watch it in person again, like we did the other one. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The point is that's what's happened. Right? I'm going to take the whole podcast talking about my failures. We'll be here a long time.
But we do. No, I'm joking.
So anyway, this is your final warning. Yeah. We're going to be jumping into Arcane and discussing it with spoilers.
Yes.
So here we go. So I've basically listed the first 4 episodes, and I have notes for each of them. And then I completely stopped taking notes because I just wanted to watch it at that point.
Yeah.
But so episode 1. Martin.
Aye. Yes.
What?
What did I think of it?
Yeah, initial reactions.
Yeah, I really liked it. There were so many people talking about like the art style of Arcane, and there's so many people trying to replicate it online, and all these artists, like, I follow a lot of artists on social medias, and they're like replicating how to make this, how to make that. I can see why. It's really good. It feels so different. Like at first, when I see like the building gets blown up at the very beginning, and like all the smoke puffs out from the magic thing, and it reminded me straight of Wind Waker. The visual effects of all the spells reminds me of Wind Waker straight up. But it's almost like got the a cel-shaded of Prince of Persia, the cel-shaded version. But like it's realistic where it's worthwhile being realistic in, and then the toon style where it's no point in being realistic in. They have like found that perfect balance in between it, where they can match every single character expression. You know exactly what they're feeling. The animation is fantastic. It's so well done. Everything's very got that small exaggeration. Adults move like adults. Everyone moves for their body type and shape. Everything feels uniquely done. How everyone moves feels more aggressive. Like Vi moves from her shoulders a lot more. I've seen everything she does because she's more got that boxing style. She moves from her shoulders all the time.
Yeah,
when she moves, and I noticed that she moves from her shoulders versus everyone else who runs a lot and moves differently.
So much realistic. There are certain features which are blown out of proportion.
Yeah,
in a weird mishmash of animation and realism. The fucking guy with the eyebrows, they are gigantic eyebrows.
but it works. It works. They've done it so well, and that's like I can't fault them for that. I can see why so many people were impressed about it. I'm really liking all the voice acting. The direction is good. I'm already seeing. I mean, it kind of talks about it kind of shows it in the original cinematic where we listen to some Imagine Dragons.
Yeah,
Some makes that blew up. It shows Jinx, I guess, because she's all called Powder at the beginning. She's going to be called Jinx later, I guess. Yeah. It shows like them. Seems like they're having a confrontation during it. Like Vi's going to punch her, she's holding a big Gatling gun. Like they're hitting that on the head of like kind of putting a wedge in between them, but it's no one's fault. So far, like they already had the part where like she jumped over the roof because like Powder, because she couldn't jump over the roof because she was scared. Trusting Vi jumped. Vi grabbed her arm. No one else kind of cares. It's only Vi.
Yeah.
And there's little bits of wedges coming in between it, where they were there talking in the second episode, I think it was, and one of the guys who I can't remember his name, but he's the one who hates Powder. Like out of the group of the four of them, not the bigger one, but the thinner guy.
The one with the giant eyebrows.
Yes. He, like when he was talking to Vi about it, Vi was like, oh, a lot of things that Powder can't do or something. And then Powder goes off crying before she hears the rest. Where V's basically sticking up for her.
That's actually one of my notes. I put, which episode was that in? First one.
Yes,
here's her friend / sister say something bad about her, but doesn't immediately hear the good that follows naturally.
Yeah, and so I like how they're going about it because it feels natural and they're still together, and even when bad things are happening, it still feels real for a relationship between them. It's not like you said this one terrible thing and I hate you forever. Like it's still
immediately resolved in the next scene, which like in real life, that's how people sort their shit. They either like completely break apart and then whatever.
Yeah.
Or they like sort their shit out. It's not like fucking waits for 3 more episodes to resolve that or anything like that.
Yeah, or then bring it up and stuff and like actually like know what happened in between. So no, it feels really good. Everyone acts how they should be. No one's like a weird character thing. No one's off.
Yeah.
So yeah, like they're building up to this confrontation between them, or that they're going to split apart. I don't know how it's going to work, but I'm like looking forward to that.
What I really like is how this is getting back to part. Like my main focus, the character I was focusing the most on through the whole of watching was Powder.
Yeah.
And that's because, as we all know, Powder becomes Jinx, and it was literally just like the first time you heard Milo call Powder a Jinx, straight away you were like, "Oh my god!" It was like the Family Guy scene where he goes, "Oh, they said it! They said it!"
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that was a bit on the nose for me, but
it's a Jinx's every mission. Okay,
it reminds me of fucking Solo, a Star Wars story, where they were like, "Oh, what's your name?" He's like Han, and then the guy's like, "And you're on your own," or whatever he fucking says, and that's why he got the name Han Solo.
Yeah, but Solo
was not as bad as that.
Solo was a shit film. This is Arcane.
Yeah, I didn't even bother watching it. I have a couple of people that want me to watch like the last of the sequels of Star Wars and the Solo movie. And I'm like, if you want me to, then sure, because we're friends, but I don't want to. I watch it because they want me to. It might be interesting.
My friend. That's the best way to do it.
They're good people. Anyway, yes, but I'm not going on a whole tangent of that. Back to Arcane then. Yeah. What are the notes you have?
Right, I'm just going to read my entire notes for episode 1.
Yeah.
And let's see if you can attribute them to any scenes. So, first one was, holy shit, this music. That was like the scene with like, it was quite a Nazi scene, to be quite honest. There was like smoke everywhere. And
the very beginning, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of red and then it was, Jinx is adorable. The momentum in the animation is great. Dude has eyebrows for days. He'll probably die. Man dumb, woman smart. Don't eat freshly made sandwich, you fool. For real though, the sense of speed in this animation is fantastic.
Yeah.
You all need better bowlers or better training. Run, Jinx, run. This fight is brutal. I love it. Surprise sand. Were you going to nail bomb that kid? What the fuck, kid?
Yeah. Thankfully, it didn't work, but the kid would have died.
His eyebrows, Yuri Lowenthal, which I ended up Googling it, and yeah, that is Yuri Lowenthal. He was Peter Parker in the new Spider-Man games.
Ah, all right. The only voice actress I've noticed is, I think her name was, I tried to remember her name, it was like Grayson. It was like the head of the, I know from X-Men Last Stand, is where I know her.
News travels fast, ... Please tuck those strands of hair behind your ear. I don't know who that's referencing.
I don't remember that.
And then here's a friend sister say something bad about her, but doesn't immediately hear the good that follows naturally. Grayson sounds familiar. There's another note.
Yeah.
That isn't how pipes work. When she tears the fucking pipe off and it seems to magnify when she looks through it. It's like,
Yeah, but you see that over there? That's where this person did this stupid thing.
Yeah. Big Fish. I don't remember Big Fish, but
yeah, it was in the. So you know that dude with the weird eye, that red eye? That's been experimenting things. It was in the background of some underwater. There's a big ass fucking fish. Yeah.
A bad guy that doesn't just murder people, great. And rat versus cat, fight.
Yes. Fight.
That was my last note for the episode.
I feel so bad about that cat because you first see the cat rub against the guy's leg. It's all cool, and he goes, "Oh, I guess put in this thing. Going and go fight this rat." Yeah, and he gets absolutely fucking mullered. That's about really brutally and quick.
Yeah,
you expect to see a bit of a fight or something on the line when the rat starts transforming, but nope. Cat just blood flies everywhere. And it's
you
don't
actually see the cat die.
You don't. No, you don't. Yeah, you see the cat going, and it's got the head down and going at it. Yeah. And then the camera just swaps to the side. We see the glass and the two people outside, and just blood.
Also, it's animated to look like a typical animation evil cat. It's not this adorable cat that just gets absolutely murked.
Yeah, no.
I would have stopped watching. And then moving on to episode 2 notes, if you guys are ready for more.
Yeah.
Let's go. Carry on.
Where's a tauntaun when you need one?
Yeah. Because it starts out with Jace and Caitlin, and they go to the apartment as it blows up. Because I've watched this before we started, and then it swaps all to a sudden where it shows them two outside in this snow place, and she's dragging the guy along.
Yes,
and then the wizard comes along and teleports them out of there. I saw that scene before I saw Arcane. Because people were talking about that, in League of Legends, you can teleport back to the start.
Yeah,
that's what he was creating. He was creating the summoner's gate to get back to a place, as you do in the game, and you teleport back.
Got you.
And they timed it, and apparently it was nearly bang on of the timing it takes to cast it in the game and get back.
Very good. That's a neat little detail.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. But I remember that looking at that's that scene. Okay, cool. But that's the tauntaun. Would have been useful.
Next note is, I guess a wizard will do. The music continues to be incredible. What the fuck is that? He's adorable. Which is in reference to that little fucking furry dude.
Oh yeah, the damn scientist dude from the council.
Achievement unlocked high score. I think that's when Vi was punching that machine.
Yeah, probably it could have been also Jinx Powder when she was shooting the things as well.
Yeah. Subtitles ruin jump scares, but I'm fine with that. Giving me Akali pop star vibes. Have you guys watched any KDA or listened to them?
Yeah. No. The music very much is like that, and it's I quite like it that they're keeping the theme.
So there's a scene in Arcane where there's a lot of it was when the guys come in looking for the kids, and they turn the lights out, and there's neon paint everywhere. Well, that's very much like a KDA Akali thing. Anyway, Enforcers kind of look like Helghast, just less Nazi. Helghast are from the Killzone.
Okay. Just less Nazi.
Stop it.
That is a very attractive cartoon. I think that's in reference to Mel, I think her name is. The black lady on the council.
Oh, yeah. She's got the cool goldish tattoos and stuff.
Yeah. Oof.
Yeah.
She's good things for me. Any scene in the Tavern reminds me of Sea of Thieves.
I can see that. Yeah.
He looks weak? ? Dude's got arms.
Just got arms for days.
Don't know who that's on about. He's gonna fuck this up and die, isn't he? That is a dramatic ass court. Yep, there we go.
Yeah.
Should listen to the living mustache. I'd have to squint in that darkness to see who's in favour. Seriously, who designed this court? Living mustache is dumb.
I don't like him. I don't like him. He was cool at first, and he was like, "Don't talk about magic," and he's just so like such an asshole. He's so I don't like him at all.
I've learned to like him personally. Yeah, I can't remember his name either.
I'm googling it.
This is how the strong variant of enemies in video games are made. That's when the kid thug gets fucking drugged. And the next note is General Kenobi.
General Kenobi.
Oh, this is great.
Those are good notes.
The next one is the monkey. Now I need to watch Get Jinxed again. Sweaty palms will get you, and kid, you've got issues. Those are my notes. I really should have made more like fucking comprehensible notes.
No, they are the best notes ever.
Yeah, Hermedinger is the mustache dude.
One thing I liked in particular, though, this is sort of the main thing that stuck out to me, since you've covered like everything else that I would say,
Yeah.
which just shows how universally great this is. I like how they do build in them relationships between the characters, like between Powder and V.
Yeah.
I know
Their
you said
relationship is really nice.
I know you said sister/friend. I'd say it's more. I definitely would say it's more siblings because it just felt that way. And then, like, you know, the rest of the gang are all they're all part of this one relationship. It is like a family in a sense, and then you've got Vanda, who is almost like the protector, like / father figure.
Yeah.
And
I like Vanda.
Yeah, it was when I first saw him in all that red smoke scene. I was like, "That's Sam." I put a picture in. So I didn't know Sam was in Arcane.
I know. I was like, "Damn, I've been caught." But
yeah, I'm liking the character relationships with everyone.
Yeah,
it's quite well done. Everyone has good motivations. Nothing's out of the ordinary. There's no huge, weird, opposing things that don't make sense. Because a lot of people, like, their motivations kind of swap partway through. Yeah. Everyone has a goal in mind, and they're trying to achieve that. I think so far my favorite character is Jace. I want to see what he does. We're trying to get magic and science put together.
Yeah,
he's the one with like a good goal. Like I would do this with, but I would definitely try work out this tech.
Well,
yeah.
You will be very pleased to know, gentlemen, that there is a season 2 coming.
Oh, nice.
And I think it was Riot coming. You know, because Netflix has a habit of basically cancelling stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of fans were concerned Arcane might meet that fate. Like, it might get cancelled like after the first season or the second season. And Riot published a statement saying due to the way they've got the agreement with Netflix, it's basically like got a special status on it where it's protected from the cutbacks.
Oh, nice.
So that just makes me wonder. Obviously, I imagine Riot's probably throwing a lot of money into it to keep it that way. Which
I was going to say they are loaded.
Yeah. But
this is kind of what I wish Warcraft had done all along. Like, eventually we got the Warcraft movie, which wasn't very well received.
Yeah.
But their cinematics for, like, their upcoming expansions for World of Warcraft are so fucking good. Like, they are top-tier CGI and, like, voice acting.
Yeah.
And for some reason, they just decided to go down, like, the live-action route. Live-action with some CGI, basically, for the movie, which I just don't understand. They could, at any point, just, like, put a bunch of money in to create an animated series or movies, and they would do so fucking well.
The the thing is, with the size of Blizzard, they could do it all in house if they really wanted.
Yeah.
Like I want to. I'm not sure everyone will share the same thing, but like the way they do the animations, like for World of Warcraft, and even like every time Overwatch had a character reveal,
Yeah,
it wouldn't be like a quick. Most games, you get a 15-second trailer, and it's like coming to the game next week.
yeah.
Whereas like Overwatch, their character introduction story, you were given like nearly full between 5 and 10 minutes, a full mini movie.
Yeah.
They had like
So
all
the
these
X-ones as well.
backstories for just fucking characters that you're just going to be shooting all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There was no need to have these backstories, but they did.
yeah. So like, I'd want to see them either come with. I know it's getting a bit off the topic of Arcane, but here we go. That's what we do. I'd want to see, like you said, Nick, either like a Warcraft animated series or a film.
Yeah.
But I'd also like to see something done with Overwatch. Personally.
Yeah. They've made a lot of good cinematics for Overwatch.
Yeah.
The whole mini series and everything you can pretty much watch for them. You know, they spend so much money for just a free YouTube thing.
Yeah.
Same watch for character backstories.
I'd love to see like an animated series or short or film from both.
Yeah.
Would be good. Would be interesting. But I'll tell you what, I'm glad you've enjoyed your experience with Arcane so
It was good.
far.
I'm glad you forced me to finally watch it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad I had more of a reason because I was waiting for people to like watch stuff with me. So it was like, I have to watch this for the podcast.
Yeah,
I just kept like
genuinely liked it.
putting it off and just watching completely random fucking shit on YouTube, which is most of my day.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I'm glad I finally sat down and consumed it, the entire thing, in like 2 days.
Oh gosh. I've only gone back to it when I've only come back and watching. I've only watched it. I'm on like episode 4 now.
Oh, I just had to watch it.
I know you said to me, I was like, "Oh, okay, I'm on episode 2." You was like, "Yeah, I'm like on the last episode." What? What? But I'm glad you've digged it. Like, it's good. So,
All right, put timestamps so spoilers have ended there.
Yeah, spoilers are over,
yeah, the spoilers are
We're
done.
good.
We're good.
and we are going to move on to the news.
Hell yeah.
So, the top story, and the most important one, let's be honest.
Definitely.
Pac-Man is 42 years old. He's old enough to fuck.
He can finally buy a beer.
It's just crazy that it's like that old.
Yeah.
Like, oh damn.
Happy birthday, Pac-Man. Happy birthday.
You look at it's like 1980. It's like, oh crap.
You need to release like an up-to-date version where he's just like, he's got a white mustache and a cane and Blinky, Pinky, and Clyde. They're also old, even though they're dead. But, you know.
I mean, they're ghosts, so they were already older anyway.
But yeah, that's it's cool to see.
Yeah,
One of the
pioneers of
frontiers
gaming.
Yes, pioneers. That's the one.
Yeah, definitely.
It's up there. It's good. So yeah, happy birthday, Pac-Man.
Yes, happy birthday indeed.
42 years and I still can't beat you, even though I'm only 28, nearly 29. But still,
Soon.
a long time.
Yeah.
So,
XP
going from one of the gaming greats, one of the pioneers of gaming, into I guess a well-loved franchise by many. But this also screams milking it as well at the same time, so but it's my duty to report it. The Witcher 3's current gen update, so Xbox Series and PlayStation 5, has been it's planned to get released at Q4 2022.
Do you reckon that's going to get pushed back?
I think it's going to get pushed into like Q1 2023, to be honest.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I don't want it to happen back and see it happening.
But yeah, the tweet here says, "Let's make this 7th anniversary even better, shall we? We are delighted to share that the next-gen version of The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt is planned to release in Q4 2022.
I wonder if they're going to be like really nervous because of the cyberpunk stuff.
Yeah.
I
So
can
they're
imagine.
going to be like very careful with a solid release date. Well,
we'll see what happens with it then. Yeah, because
I'm sure I'll like give it a try and realize that I don't enjoy playing that game and give up. That's basically what I do with The Witcher 3.
fair enough.
I played The Witcher 3 so far to a point, and then I was like, right, I'll play this again later, and then I just never played it again.
Yeah, I've played it on fucking so many things. The Witcher 3 had a really annoying issue where if you played it on disc, I'm basically just describing what issue I had with it. If you played it on disc and got so far into it, like let's say 40 hours into it,
Yeah.
and then you sold the disc version and bought the digital version, your save is not compatible. Even though it's the exact same game, it's not the Game of the Year edition, anything like that. It's just standard Witcher 3. Your save game for the disc version is not compatible with the digital one. So I had to start the entire game over again.
Which doesn't make any sense.
No.
I could see it. I could see it being that would be the case if you had the digital first, uninstalled it, and it's that higher version, it's most updated, and you went back to the disc version that wasn't updated and you didn't update it. I could see that being the case because it's a version beforehand where things are different and it's not compatible.
Yeah.
But it's completely different because you go from disc to digital, so you would have the most up to date in all things.
Yeah.
That's wild. I did not know. That's wild, Hunt. Didn't know that was the case. Did not know
that's the only game I've known to ever do that, and that was a big reason I was turned off of it. That, and generally, I'm not a huge fan of the gameplay. But that burned me bad.
Yeah. I want to like The Witcher more than I do.
Yeah, I like the world.
Yeah, I love it. I go into it and I'm excited every time I find a new cutscene and everyone's talking and it's cool and I get to do a little bit of combat. But it's everything in between.
Yeah,
that to me is not enough. And I like doing a bit of the combat. It's a bit more difficult than I would not difficult, but awkward with different swords and stuff than I would like it to be. But it's enough to where it becomes a challenge because it's so awkward. So I then like it. But no, I remember I played it for a bit and then I was like, if I'm going to sit and actually play this properly, I want to dedicate 5 hours at a time, and I don't have that time. So I'll come back to it when I have that time.
Yeah, that's very much a game. If you're about exploring worlds, that's very much a game that's going to take you 200 hours to finish.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good that they're bringing a current gen version of it, and it's an update. It's not going to be another fucking re-release of the game that you have to buy again.
Yeah,
like Skyrim did, and Skyrim continues to do. It's just a straight up update, and here you go. Here's the PS5 version of the game.
Yeah,
which I'm happy about that.
I'm all for that. That's good. Yeah, definitely.
This is the version that's coming with the Henry Cavill skin as well, I believe.
It is.
Is it?
You can straight up make Geralt look like Henry Cavill.
It's close enough. It's close enough. I'd equip that skin.
Oh yeah,
I think it's cool.
Very handsome.
I love Henry Cavill's job that he did on The Witcher. Yeah. Someone asked me Henry Cavill the Superman or Henry Cavill Witcher, or as Geralt, and I was like, you know what? You can hire a lot of people to do Superman and do a good job. I don't think you get anyone as good as Henry Cavill for Geralt. He absolutely goddamn nailed it, in my opinion.
But also the fact that Henry Cavill is a fan.
Huge Witcher fan, yeah.
Yeah. So it was always funny watching interviews.
Yeah.
And especially the ones where even the directors would be like, we got this wrong and Henry corrected us.
Yeah. I heard about stuff like that. It's good though to have someone that's in there fighting for that.
Yeah, and it wasn't correcting him to belittle him, it was this is how
the fans
it goes.
want this. This is what people expect.
Or there were a time where they were filming a scene and to sort of inspire the reference, he basically quoted the entire of page 263 from one of the books off the top of his head to the whole cast and crew to explain the situation to them, and it was well.
He also wasn't meant to be doing the voice, like the gravelly voice.
Yeah, and he just
decided to do it for a scene one day, and they were like, "Yeah, fuck it, let's go with it."
Yeah, and it's so good though. It did a fantastic job, and everyone on that team is doing a fantastic job for the Witches.
Yeah,
looking forward to more. So yeah, it's cool. It's cool. It's getting that kind of support, and it's cool that we're getting a new, like the update for the game, like coming from the actual series as well. I know so many people that watched the series and wanted to start playing the games because of the series. And I don't feel like they've done as good a job without that team involved.
So yeah, that's something to look forward to for all the Witcher 3 fans out there. If you feel like playing through that game again, why not?
Some people will. Some people will definitely.
Oh yeah, 100%.
All right, on to the next piece of news then. Xbox Series S outsold PlayStation 5 disc and digital in Japan during the week of May from the 9th to the 15th.
This blows my mind.
That surprises me.
Yeah.
PlayStation is so much more popular in Japan.
Because it's a Japanese console.
Yeah.
It's PlayStation Japanese console. You expect to do well in Japan, and it does. It's why Nintendo does really well in Japan as well.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, like looking at the tweet here, it's Xbox Series S sold 6,120 units, and the Series X 105. But the PlayStation 5 disc and digital was 2,963. And looking it up on Google as well, this isn't the first time it's happened. Xbox Series X and S outsold PS5 last month for the first time ever, and that article from Games Radar was written on the 15th of March this year. And then it happened again in April.
I'm still wrapping my head around it.
It's on the up and up that it's now happened essentially 3 times. That it's pushing it this way.
It boggles my mind more so because back like in the PS4 and the Xbox One era, they'd get hold of the weekly stats and it'd be like, for units sold in Japan, it'd be like PlayStation, like 20,000.
Yeah.
Xbox, 4.
Yeah.
Literally, that is how it would go.
I will say, overall, the PS5, both of them are selling way more than Xbox.
Yeah.
It was just for this 1 week.
And that's always been the case. Like even in the States, PS5 was selling the most. But that's so the Games Radar article that was back on the 15th of March, that ended up being in Europe. It oversold in Europe for that particular one. It's crazy that they're doing so well for it. I barely hear about the Xbox Series X anymore. And I'm trying to find stuff talking about it, and like why this could even be.
Yeah.
And the only thing I'm finding is apparently one article that I can't even find anymore because I was looking through to find others. But it was basically talking about like, the chip shortages and things that are happening.
Yeah.
Apparently Microsoft are doing a better job at getting their consoles out versus PlayStation. Apparently, the addition of the console storage seems to be hitting Sony the hardest. It's apparently getting worse rather than better. Basically, they're hinting at, no one's explicitly saying it, but they're hinting at the fact that PlayStation can't get their consoles out faster than Xbox can. So it seems people are swapping to it just out of necessity to play next gen. Which makes sense when you look at it that way as to why it's doing that. But it'd be very interesting to see if this trend continues later down the line then.
Yeah.
I mean, also the Series S. Phil Spencer basically said they manufactured way more Series S's than they did X's.
Yeah.
Because it was cheap. Because they purposely wanted to like sell them consoles on, and they said they sold them on as well, like at a loss as well.
Yeah. Just
to get people into next gen gaming, and obviously to bring people into the Xbox ecosystem. Which is a smart fucking move.
Yeah.
And I think it's, from what they've spent since the series consoles came out, it's working for them. But
I wonder how many they'll do. Like when the chip shortage goes down, I wonder if they'll end up doing like a deal that you could trade in your Series S for an X, like with a bit extra, and like cut off loads of the price of it. I don't know if they would, but I wonder if how much of a marketing movement that would make for them. Because I think that's the thing as well, is like the chip shortages are mainly for the really good stuff. Where the X is still selling very little, but the S, because it's a cheaper version, is selling so much more, like I said, because it's cheaper, it's easier for people to get into it. So it's working out for them.
some places now you can pick up a Series S for less than £100.
Really? Damn.
And that's usually incentives like game where they'll be like trade. So sometimes it's even something stupid. They'll do a stupid deal like trading a certain game. At one point, I went into the local game, because it changes all the time. You know, 1 month it could be consoles to get it at this price. I went in 1 month, and it was like, if it was the beginning of the year, and I kid you not, it was something stupid like trading accessories. So, like a controller, trading an Xbox Elite controller and get the Series S for £99.
Damn.
Wasn't the Elite controller like fucking £400 when it came out, though?
It was like 200.
I think it was 200, yeah. It was still silly.
Yeah.
Well, 160, 200. I paid 130 for mine, but that was a sale ages ago, and then I sold it like months later because I was like, I'm literally using the same stuff I would on a normal pad.
Pretty much.
But it's how it goes. I mean, personally, like, I'm not sided on either because I have both the Series console and the PlayStation.
Yeah.
And I enjoy both of them, so I'm not biased in a way, but I tried to say that, but then for me to then turn around and be like, I probably do prefer the PlayStation just a little bit more. I like it if for my stay-at-home console. If I'm going to go to a friend's house and have a gaming night, I would throw the Xbox in a bag and take it with me, unless I'm specifically requested to bring the PS5.
Is that because it's more portable, easier to get there, or is it just because you prefer?
I can sling it in my rucksack and wires and padding. It takes up like no space. It weighs nothing. The PlayStation, you've got to basically you get
a bit chunky.
Unplug it all.
It's not only chunky; it's got like fins. Like those fins can so easily just snap off.
Yep.
In transit.
No one wants that.
I'm always very careful.
Yeah.
I've taken to travelling in the back of a car, like with my hand resting on the PS5 laid down on the seat. Or just holding it, but carefully.
Like a baby.
Whereas the Series S, I'm sure I've dropped my rucksack within it like once or twice and it just works. I'm like, well, you're small, you're compact, you're designed for that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Which is why I enjoy it. But if I'm sat at home gaming and I'm on my own, I do sway to the PlayStation.
Fair enough then. And
then when I'm in bed, I just play mobile. I just play around on my phone because I'd sooner do that than play on the Switch because I can't stand the Switch anymore.
Dun dun dun.
But that's my input.
Fair enough. We won't spend 50 minutes talking about the Switch yet.
No.
Another conversation for another time. Going to the next piece of news then. So, Embracer Group says we should expect more remasters, remakes, spin-offs, and more following the recent acquisitions. Also stated that Knights of the Republic remake news coming in the next few months.
The acquisitions referred to are them like sucking up Square Enix and Crystal Dynamics and Eidos Montreal.
Yep.
I don't know if this is inappropriate for a podcast, but I misheard what you said then.
What I said or what Nick said?
What Nick said, I thought he said sucking off Square Enix.
I mean, maybe he did.
Anyway, let's get back on track.
Going to the next part. So, the good tweet from Nibble. Go on, Nibble. Always featured in this podcast, seems.
Oh, Nibs are a very good source.
Yeah, the picture that they posted. After the end of the quarter, we further strengthened our development capabilities and IP portfolio by entering into agreement to acquire Crystal Dynamics, Eidos Montreal, and Square Enix Montreal, including Tomb Raider, Deus Ex, Thief, and Legacy of Kain. It's like we talked about last week.
Yeah.
So, but it also says here, the announcement got an overwhelming positive response. We see a great potential not only in sequels, but also in remakes, remaster spin-offs as well as transmedia projects across the group. So,
reboot Tomb Raider again.
Again.
Please
I don't want to reboot Tomb Raider again.
No,
but
please.
I would like a reboot of Legacy of Kain.
there's a lot they can do, and I'm looking forward to that. And that seems to be the main trend of a lot of game developers at the moment. It's all remakes and remasters and everything that's constantly being made at the moment.
Yeah.
And I do like that, because it's very hard to take people, younger gamers that are coming into the media, and being like, play this game from 1990. Play this 30-year-old game. They don't want to play it. They'll try and say, but it's old, it's weird, and they don't ever want to do it. And I tried it with my nephew, even when it was a 10-year-old game, 15-year-old game, just went into it. Yeah. Then later on, I'm seeing him play remakes of it. So it's like, it's a good thing to bring these people to these franchises that we know.
Yeah.
And I'm very much looking forward to the KOTOR remake. Like, I'm going to be like, looking forward to these new news. When it dropped, I'm like, I'm hoping they do it well. Here's the next part of the news for that. I'm hoping they do it well. I really am.
I'm looking forward to Knights of the Old Republic.
Yeah. Like, I don't even care if it's exactly the same, where it's the turn-based combat. It wasn't really turn-based, it was just, click and you do moves after a bit. Yeah. But, like, I don't care if it's like that, or if it's like Force Unleashed, or Fallen Order or anything. I don't care how the gameplay is. Keep the story the same, keep the worlds looking as similar as possible as you possibly can. Maybe a different layout, sure. I'm okay with that, as long as it plays well.
Well, I'm just looking for a match 3 game. Like, you get in combat and you have to match up 3 red crystals to do damage.
Then that would be worse gameplay, and I don't want to do that. This is why I hope they just do it well. But I'm looking forward to seeing the news, and I'm just waiting for this gameplay trailer. That hopefully will eventually drop soon. Yeah. Depending. But we'll see then. So yeah, that's coming from Embracer Group then, with all their remakes and remasters.
Definitely.
All right. Next news.
Pushing it in, sir. I like this one. It's quite a long one, article-wise, but it's nice to see the caring about players who may need accessibility options to play games. So Santa Monica Studios, obviously it's a PlayStation studio, they make God of War, they're making God of War Ragnarok. They've basically showcased the 60+ accessibility options that are being included in God of War Ragnarok. Oh, and also God of War on the PC, because the 2018 God of War came out on the PC not so long back. So there's stuff where they've added like auto sprint, so for people who might have mobility issues, they can't hold a stick down for long, to sprint, so you can just they can push up and they'll start sprinting. And like for people who want to reduce motion sickness, like they've got it's like an always on reticle on the screen, so you've got like a constant like center point that you can sort of stick with. That's nice, but even stuff like you can convert like your aiming style, your block style. They're adding stuff into Ragnarok, like additional stuff for subtitles and captions, like so you can have like the different colours, have the nameplates and like a background behind the subtitle, even for sound effects. To make it more easier to read and understand. Stuff like that I'm really into. One of the things I do like as well is a direction indicator. Good for hard of hearing people. I mean, even myself, sometimes I'll struggle to... I'm not hard of hearing, but sometimes in a game, we know how it goes. You struggle to sort of attain where, like a source of noise might be coming from, and, you're supposed to maybe follow it to progress with the story or the level.
Yeah.
They've got these little indicators that you can set up in Ragnarok when it comes out. Just to, just to push you along. And like, if you do get stuck, it's nice things like that for people who will definitely need it. I'm sure there is people out there who will definitely need it, and they need all the help. They need all these accessibility options to help them. I mean, even stuff like UI size, it annoys me in a game when you can't rescale the fucking UI.
And they were super tiny.
Yeah, and it pisses me off because I'm sat there all the time. Even with text size, I'm sat there going, what am I looking at?
Yeah.
it just sometimes I need that larger UI icon. My favourite one is controller remapping. This whole list is controller mapping. Assign the buttons where you want on your pad for what's easier.
Yeah.
It's such like a simple thing that's been around since the dawn of PC gaming that like it's baffling that games just haven't always had it on console.
Yeah.
Like, I know there's like designer's intention and whatever, but surely your players should come fucking first before designer intention.
For my vision.
I get this designer intention and vision. Yeah, have that as your basic game. But at least include the fucking option. And I know I'm swearing at this point, but who gives a shit? Like, I care about this quite a bit.
Like, when they just have presets, that is so shitty.
It's restrictive.
The presets barely change anything.
It's Southpaw isn't anything I've ever seen. It's just thumbstick changes.
Yeah.
You know.
And who the fuck plays Southpaw? I shouldn't say who the fuck plays Southpaw. I'm sure there is Southpaw
Somebody
players
out there, I'm sure.
The one person.
I know someone who plays Southpaw.
Oh, okay. The two people that play Southpaw. No, I'm joking. I'm sure all 10 of them are appreciative of that. But
it's good to have like full remapping. Well, I'm sure it's not full remapping. I'm sure like the sticks cannot be remapped to
the buttons.
I don't know. From what I'm reading, it seems like it's quite comprehensive, but I don't know. They've also included a way to remap but stuff that'd require multiple button presses.
That's probably been one of my favourite changes added to recent games, where like you can, for QTEs, you could just like make the button on screen a hold, you can make it a tap, or you can just make it so you don't need to press anything, and the cinematic will just play out. Granted, it gets a bit choppy, like you can see where the button pressing was supposed to come in. It's not seamless or anything like that, but it's preferable to me than fucking mashing buttons and destroying my controller. Personally. But that's good. The closer we lean to accessibility, the better.
Yeah.
Really.
But so I mean, there is way more to this list that I could add, but we would be here for a long time.
While.
So on this occasion, I am going to actually include a link to this article in the description.
Yeah.
Because, I definitely think it's worth a read. But yeah, that's the good guys of God of War Ragnarok and their accessibility features. So, I don't know if this is me trying to make a segue, but I'm starting to feel a bit stranded.
I like the segue. We're into the next piece of news. Norman Reedus seemingly confirms Death Stranding sequel in interview. So I've got the picture that comes up here from Twitter, and it says, the interviewer said, okay, so you've got the book going on, and you've got the final season coming out, and then the spin-off, and then you're filming Death Stranding, the video game. Apparently Norman Reedus responded, we just started the second one. And it's going through him talking about it all, talking about how he got to work with Hideo Kojima because Guillermo del Toro called him. I was like, just say yes. And I don't blame him, because who says no to Hideo Kojima?
Yeah.
And he showed apparently what we were working on with Silent Hill and all this other stuff, and got into it. Apparently, it says here it took me maybe 2 or 3 years to finish all the mocap sessions and everything. Takes a lot of work, and the game came out and it just won all these awards. It's a huge thing, so we just started part 2 of that. You know, that to me seemed confirmation at that point that they're working on the second, or working in a similar thing, because I know originally beforehand Kojima was talking about that he's watching a lot of horror movies at the moment because he wants to make a horror game.
Yeah.
So I wonder if he's taking, with making PT and taking that out and working with Norman Reedus on another game, like he was supposed to be on the Silent Hill one, taking it out into his own thing, and hire him to do a similar thing in that way. Maybe in the same Death Stranding universe. That's why it's called Part 2.
Yeah.
Don't know. Or because here, Norman Reedus didn't seem to be a huge gamer at the moment, because he was talking about... I was blown away by what it was showing me, and I was like, yes, like, it's not Miss Pac-Man, it's so realistic, it's so futuristic. Like, I know he's not old gamer, but no one would say Miss Pac-Man nowadays for that. And that's something he just knows from the past.
Yeah.
So I don't know the man. I don't know what he's into and what his interests are. But it seems to be then, obviously, it might not even be Death Stranding 2. It's like, we're working on the second part of that, but he could just be referring his career with Kojima at this point, and his gaming future that way. Genuinely don't know, but that's all what that's all what this picture says about it, and I'm very interested to find out then what's actually going to happen in the future of that.
Yeah,
with these kind of conflicting reports.
It'd be nice to see a Death Stranding too. Like, I feel like it gets so fucking overstated, but there are very much two kinds of. There are two sides to the Death Stranding argument. People either fucking hate that game or they absolutely loved it. Nobody seems to fall in the middle. Well, apart from people who just haven't fucking played it, like me.
I definitely enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And I haven't even dented the surface of the game, and I've spent so many hours on it.
Yeah.
It seems like a good podcast game. Like how you could just fucking stick a podcast on and go deliver some shit. Go
be the mailman.
Royal Mail simulated.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it's interesting. I'm interested to see what they do next.
Yeah. Definitely.
Whether it's Death Stranding or quote-unquote PT.
We don't want to use that lightly, because everyone would freak out about it if that was to happen. Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
So long as it's not another Tom Cruise movie, we're okay.
Wow, these fucking...
These segues.
Segues are out of control.
Are on the nose, and no regrets about it.
I was actually tempted to just completely skip over this story just for the laugh.
Okay. Well, just say it and then we'll just move on to the next one straight away. Let's do it.
Yeah, so basically the next news story is that the new Mission Impossible movie... I've never been into Mission Impossible, so couldn't tell you first thing about it. Couldn't tell you if it looks good or anything. It has a trailer. Anyway, so the PlayStation Days of Play sale has started officially on Wednesday the 25th.
Hell yeah.
And there are some... I've had a brief glimpse through it, and there are some good deals in there.
There's some decent games on offer.
Yeah, some of them are not quite as discounted as I would have liked. Like, as you know, I've been looking at getting Blood Rain 1 and 2 for streaming purposes. Yeah. And they've gone down from like 16 quid to 12. Which, for a PS2 game that's been barely remastered, that's not it, Chief.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's if anybody's interested, there are plenty of sales going on in that. Some new games as well, I believe. Like, I'm pretty sure Deathloop is in there, and
I really want Deathloop.
It does look pretty good.
Yeah,
Deathloop. But yeah, no, I'm looking through, and there's a lot of interesting games. Like, you go through here and get some, and like you've got some good games to play. There's probably one or two that people haven't played. Is even Tiny Tina's Wonderland Next Level Edition in here?
Pretty much just came out.
Yeah. So like even that's in here. So
the sales for that must have not been very good, because like it's in this Days of Play sale, but it also had like its own official sale like a week ago or something, where it was like 30% off. So I wonder if that's just not selling very well.
See, that's weird though, because you know Gearbox's parent company 2K. They did an earnings call recently, and they said that Tiny Tina's Wonderlands was one of the strongest releases they've had in a long time.
Yeah. I know everyone was super excited about it. The only reason I know that people weren't getting it was simply because of the price. It was all I was ever hearing about from people was like, I want to get it, but I can only get it myself. And I want to play with all these people who can't get it right now. Yeah. And they're waiting for these other people.
I guess there's going to be a price drop soon then. Like a straight up flat price drop.
Yeah. Maybe.
It's a deal.
Maybe that's what's happening. Maybe that's what part of this is, to see how many sales they get from it going into this. Because you can always pull out of the deal. You can always pull out of these. What did we call it again? Let me look back over. PlayStation Days of Play.
Well, typically they're locked into for the sale period. They can't just drop out in the middle of it.
Yeah, but they'll know how long it's up there for, at least. To kind of look.
But what I guess one way is, if you've done so good for them, they do have the choice to not opt into another deal.
Yeah,
which is good.
Yeah,
it's good.
Apparently, what is it? According to an article here on Forbes, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands dramatically exceeded Take-Two's expectations, just like you said. Like, they didn't expect it to do well, and it was doing really well. Yeah, hold on. Hold on, comes up. Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, however, is a much bigger hit than anyone was anticipating. Take-Two calls it the best launch out of 2K as a whole in several years. They also revealed that 30% of Wonderlands players were new to the Borderlands franchise as a whole. So,
I wonder how much of that is like the tabletop community, because that's probably very much like the premise of it. Yeah. So I wonder if that's like,
Cool will be, but yeah, good luck to all these people that are on this the Days of Play sale. Hopefully they get some good money from it.
Yes.
All right, and moving on to the next. The second to last news story. So, the new PS Plus, what do you want to call it? System, I guess, that we talked about in the last podcast. It's live in Asia right now, and it's not looking good.
It pisses me off.
Yeah. So let's start with the bottom one, where some of the PS1 games that are coming to the highest tier, their PAL versions are coming, which I didn't fully understand at first, but apparently the PAL versions, nobody likes them because they run at a lower frame rate, and some sensor issues. Essentially, PAL is like the Europe version of these games, and compared to the US ones, lower frame rate and censorship issues, and some people are not happy with that. The reason PAL exists is like it's more supportive for like languages, basically. So they're covering the Europe area, all the languages we've got here in Europe. Yeah, that's people are not happy about that. I don't fully understand it still, but I mean, I'll just pretend to not be happy as well. The biggest issue is that, so say you were to get PlayStation Plus when it was at a discount. Like, let's say a year ago, PS Plus was discounted. It had gone down from 50 quid a year to, for the next 14 days, you can get it for 20 quid a year. Something like that. Yes. And then let's say you decided to renew your membership with this discount until 2031, as this one person did. Well, with this new system, you now have to pay that discounted difference.
Which is silly.
So that discount that you did a year ago no longer matters for shit. So this person who is outlined in this Reddit post, they're having to pay $430, which was the difference for the discount that they got.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to pay that on top of their sub.
Pisses me off big time. What annoys me about that is, and this is the one time I'll say, PlayStation, you're a fucking set of idiots, sort yourself out, is that's almost like, hey, remember that PS Plus I gave you, like a £40 discount? Fuck off, you've got to pay it back.
Yeah. This isn't a goddamn loan or a payment plan, you know?
Yeah, it's not.
You agreed to this price. There wasn't anything, as far as I know, I never looked at the terms and conditions, obviously, when people were getting these discounts. Yeah. But I highly doubt there was anything in there saying that you would have to do this if they changed it.
Do you know what I feel like this is stemmed from as well?
What?
Originally, loads of people they bought when this whole platform change was announced, like for PS Plus. A load of people went out and bought a ton of PlayStation Now and PlayStation Plus subscriptions and put them all on. I don't know why, because they were getting them cheaper. They were like all on sale when they found out.
Yeah.
And Sony basically cancelled the sale of a load of these cards, so they stopped selling them to retailers to sell out. And then, in some cases, they were also, I think, suspending people's like PlayStation Now stuff if they noticed that, they were putting like a bulk quantity on.
Yeah, which is fucking ridiculous, because that money is still going back to them.
Well, yeah, and then it's just got to the point now where they're doing this charge the difference, and I feel like that's something they've thrown in to be like, oh no, we're going to lose money.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, this is where, in my eyes, Microsoft and Game Pass is the clear winner. Because, for example, when they did theirs, it was they've done exactly the same thing Sony's done at a cheaper fucking price.
Yeah.
And you can play original Xbox games as well. So I'm sorry, Sony, you fucked up. Come at me.
The backlash is going to be big for this. I think they're going to change it. Unless... it would be really fucking shitty if this was not the same for Europe and the US. Like, if this was only a thing in Asian markets for some reason,
then that'd
blow my mind.
That'd be pretty still shocking. Like, that'd be bad.
Oh, yeah.
Either way, the backlash is
a lot of people just won't care at that point if it's only for Asia. It's only people in Asia that will, and another states will care.
Backlash from Asia going to be big enough for that to not be the case? It's a question.
But I don't know, well, because people are saying in the comments here that they're basically saying that this is how much the service costs, and because you paid for it, you have to pay that cost regardless, because it's a different service, and it's an upgrade. You're not just like changing it; it's an upgrade, and we're taking off the price that you paid for that because you're going to get the same thing, and that's how they're trying to spin it.
Which is bullshit, because pointing back to the whole Microsoft and their Game Pass.
Yep.
Which also, shall we say, has day one fucking launchers on it. which they've said this PlayStation Plus won't have. I'm sorry, I'm more than happy to load up the new Gears of War on my Xbox console and play it day one knowing I've subscribed, and I'll happily keep my subscription. Even though I don't really play on the Xbox, I still pay the subscription each month because it's a good service. And I know it's going to come in handy and I am going to use it. But, all they did is take, if you, say, had, I don't know, say you've just upgraded a year Xbox Live Gold, and then they brought Game Pass Ultimate out, you could convert your subscription. You had to pay, a little bit, if it's, £1, or, it was £1, but it upgraded your remaining time to the same plan.
Yeah.
Why can't they just do that? This is why I'm getting money based now. They're a multi-billion fucking earning company. What's so bloody hard about making an upgrade path so simple instead of robbing your customers for a fucking discount you gave them a year ago?
Yeah.
I'll be curious to see how this affects PlayStation sales versus Xbox.
Yeah.
Because this feels like being ahead and then shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah.
I mean, they're already losing ground anyway, aren't they? From what we read earlier.
Yeah. But that is where I'm going to leave my comments, because the more I talk about it, the more fucking angry I'm getting.
It's shitty.
Yeah, it's scummy. Sony, sort your shit out. That's what I'm going to finish my opinion on it with.
Fair enough. Right, I say final news story.
Sir, you know that franchise that only comes round once in a blue moon? No, I'm only joking, it comes out every fucking year, doesn't it? Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, not classic Modern Warfare 2. This is the reboot sequel of a reboot.
So not the best one, but like a reboot of all this.
Basically, the sequel to Modern Warfare 2019 is Modern Warfare 2, and it has a release date of October 28th.
What did we say last podcast? Was this the 42nd or 47th Call of Duty game?
46, I think.
Somewhat stupid like that.
It was in the high 40s.
Granted, that's including like shitty fucking mobile ports or whatever, but
and
still
remasters.
Yeah,
and apparently this is the last one they're doing on an annual release,
which would be good for them, I think.
Yeah, but bad for the community because they'll shove paywalls in everywhere stuff. Anyway, I don't really have anything to cover on that. It's coming out October 28th.
Yeah, we'll only know more like when it's out.
Yeah.
We'll know more as time goes on.
Right, and that pretty much wraps up news.
Aye. We need a song still. I know it's my fault.
Yeah, we do.
I'm working
It's taking
on
way
it.
too long. Right, so now we move on to new and upcoming games / movies / TV shows / D&D books / whatever, and also reviews of new upcoming games / movies / TV shows / D&D books / whatever.
I think we need to show the title.
We need a new title. So
as of today, which we are recording this on the 25th, Wednesday the 25th, Sniper Elite 5 is out.
It is. It is. By the time this podcast goes up, it will be out. It comes out on the 26th.
26th, tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, so be.
But
day before. Fucking summit.
I've seen nothing of this game. I can't believe there are 5 of them, to be quite honest. And there's like that entire Nazi Zombies trilogy that's out there as well. Oh, no, there's 4 games now, I want to say.
Yep.
But yeah, that is mad.
It is insane. And time for the good one. For all you lucky people out there, first of all, hello there. That's my segue into this next reference. So, as you are sat listening to this podcast, if you hop onto Disney Plus, you will notice that the Star Wars miniseries Obi-Wan Kenobi is out.
Hell yeah.
With a 2-episode premiere and a new episode airing every Friday for the rest of the season.
Which I think is really good. I'm glad they're getting 2 episodes out straight away. A lot of people aren't satisfied with one.
Well, they did that as a way of an apology, because Obi-Wan Kenobi was supposed to originally premiere today on the 25th.
Ah, okay.
And they pushed it back to the Friday. I'm not sure why, but as an apology, quotation marks, they decided to give 2 episodes out. And
Do you reckon they just always had that planned?
Probably, but I like the narrative behind it. It seems it's almost like fan service.
Yeah, I think they had it already planned.
We'll call it fake fan service.
Fake fan service, because
let's be honest, Star Wars is just fan service.
yeah.
Now,
well, like I can understand the final 3 episodes of Obi-Wan, at this moment, not even been done yet, not finalized, because they have multiple weeks to get it done. You see it a lot with anime, as they're waiting for people to write up people to write up the manga. They're just animating filler episodes, waiting for manga to come out. But yeah. Surely for the first episode and even the second episode, it would have already been done by now if it was only going to delay 2 days.
Kenobi's leaving question marks over people's heads, and mine included. This isn't spoilers because they announced it when they announced the show. We've got Ewan McGregor coming back, obviously, as Obi-Wan Kenobi. They've got Hayden Christensen coming back as Darth Vader.
Although I feel like not everybody watches trailers.
Well,
yeah.
I don't know. I feel like we should just put a spoiler tag anyway.
Yeah, it's already so much over everywhere. It's already confirmed the moment you Google it. And even then, I saw a thing on TikTok actually talking about it. And a picture's come out of Hayden Christensen with the cape and the lightsaber and things.
Yeah.
And people are looking and analysing it. And he's not using, when he's in the practice, Darth Vader's lightsaber. He's using original Anakin lightsaber. And the cape isn't Darth Vader's cape. So people are putting it down. There's actually going to be live action, of the Clone Wars that happened.
There's gonna be.
And they're talking about like the pictures of that is going to be him from that. Maybe he does come as Darth Vader. Like he will do because if we're putting spoilers in, like what is it? Ewan McGregor already turned around and said it was great to see him in the suit and stuff.
Yeah,
in Vader's suit and things again. So yeah,
yeah, because when they announced, the thing that questions me with Vader, obviously they've got Hayden Christensen back.
Yep.
If they're going to be doing Clone Wars flashbacks, I feel like there's going to be flashbacks including Anakin, so obviously, why not? I think it'd be good.
Yes.
Who's going to voice Vader? I'm hoping they bring James Earl Jones back, because I'm still like, his voice is Vader.
Oh, 100%.
I know there's a lot of...
There's still, though, like, have you seen the live-action, quote-unquote live-action Lion King? James Earl Jones sounds so fucking done.
But you see, but you also got to remember they did modulate his voice as well, and I imagine they would this time round. But when he was asked about it, he just said no comment. He didn't answer.
Yeah.
So if they don't bring him back, obviously they can make it work, because, like, to be fair, Hayden Christensen probably could get away with doing it, but they'd have to modulate the voice so heavily. But they also did that in... I can't remember, because the Star Wars animated series also confused me quite a lot. Because, like, you've got Clone Wars and Rebels, and I think, is it Clone Wars or Rebels? I've noticed Clone Wars, where, spoiler... Well, it's all falling under spoilers now. Ahsoka is fighting Vader. And there is one bit where his helmet gets damaged in the fight, and you hear both Anakin's voice and Vader's voice. So I could see, and it was the same voice actor for each one. So I see they could probably make a way. But anyway, I guess it will all come out as the episodes progress.
Yeah, they're about to get away with a lot, because I was just looking up. One quote I see all the time that comes up on TikTok is Force Unleashed. And it's people like, I can't remember, Starkiller is going like, you promised to stay away. And Darth Vader just goes, I lied. And that's it. And like, people love it. But apparently someone called Matt Sloan was the one who voiced Darth Vader during that.
Yeah, Vader's had a lot of voice actors for the games.
Yeah. So,
I want to say Matt Sloan also voiced him in Battlefront 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's enough to where they can bring him in and it'll be acceptable.
Yeah.
It's not the same, but it's acceptable.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm hoping it's... To me, James Earl Jones will always be Vader.
Yes.
But it's actually weird. James Earl Jones will always be Vader in the voice.
Yeah.
The same way that also in my eyes, like, Hayden, since he put the suit on, like... I know he's put the suit on. I wouldn't, until I watched this season, I wouldn't say Hayden Christensen is Vader. I'd say he's a version of Vader, like, before the suit, which he definitely is. But I always say, like, the guy who originally wore the Vader suit, David Prowse, he is Vader. Him and James Earl Jones together are Vader. Now, David Prowse is obviously long deceased, unfortunately.
Rip.
So I understand they've got Hayden Christensen in the suit, and it does make sense, like, the natural evolution is for him to be in the suit. So yeah, he is Vader. I want James Earl Jones to come do the voice, but if he doesn't, it's understandable. I mean, he's old now, like, doesn't work as much. Deserves a break, is what I'm saying.
Ooh.
So they could
voiced him in Rogue One.
I was just looking at that right now. In Rogue One, Vader is played by Spencer Wilding and Daniel Naprous. The former is an actor best known for prosthetics-heavy performances such as Minotaur in Wrath of Titans, those sort of stuff, and more. Naprous is primarily a stuntman from like Game of Thrones and Harry Potter films and Hot Fuzz.
Yeah, but that's in the suit. Who did the voice?
Yeah, and James and Vader's voice in Rogue One was provided by James Earl Jones.
All right, still voiced him.
Yeah.
I feel
Vader in Rogue One was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
So it'd be cool to see like something like that happen again in Obi-Wan.
Vader in Rogue One was an absolute beast. I mean, that scene alone. I love how the director Gareth Edwards basically they explained they gave him obviously you're allowed to use Vader in the film.
Yeah.
but make
The
it
last minute
count.
edition, wasn't it?
Well, not even that, but he made it work.
Yeah.
Big, like that entire corridor scene that ties in Rogue One to the beginning of A New Hope.
It's fantastic, yeah.
Vader in that one scene, it sends chills down my spine every time I see it, because that is Vader at his absolute, like,
his
best.
prime for like the extended universe that happened with Vader. Like all the rebels know him almost to be like a myth. Like that comes in, you see Vader, you're dead.
Yep.
So like when you have that moment where Vader comes on and like appears in front of all these rebels who know of Vader, like everyone freaks out and they just like, about fire! Like the fear of it that happened for these soldiers was like, this is the Vader that was worth fearing. This is the Vader that why it made such a big thing for Luke to try and turn Vader for all the rebels.
Yeah.
Like how could you turn this horrible monster of a person, like the Emperor's like lackey who just murders everything, you know, in their path with no remorse.
Yeah.
Like it's such a fantastic bad guy, and having Luke try to turn this person, it became that thing for the extended universe. It wasn't that fully in the movies, but in the extended universe, when you know the characters, that's how it came across.
Yeah.
So to have that as Vader being the Vader of the extended universe was absolutely fantastic to see.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Definitely.
It'd be cool to see what they do with it this time, at least with Obi-Wan. That's what I'm looking forward to with Vader.
Yeah.
I'm not holding hopes for it, but I want to see like some badassery like that again.
Well, they are supposed. They have confirmed also they do have a rematch. In Kenobi.
Which that doesn't make much sense, because one of the lines Obi-Wan says to him in A New Hope. Oh no, one of the lines
Vader says to him, yeah,
is like, "Last time I saw you, you were the master."
When I was the apprentice, but now I am the master.
I suppose it's Star Wars. Nothing fucking makes sense.
I suppose my interpretation on that line is it was only really at that point when you got to think this will be my last thing I say on the whole thing, because otherwise I'll be here for this podcast to be like 48 hours long. And good luck time stamping, it probably would never happen. So you've got to think in Anakin's eyes, in Vader's eyes, when he became Vader, Anakin died. Like, Anakin is dead to Vader at this point. And he was just starting his training under the Emperor at this point. So what my sort of thought on that is, what if at this point in this fight, when they have this rematch, Vader, he still sees himself as like the underling, the apprentice to Palpatine. Whereas
so just watch the scene. Sorry, Karen.
Whereas when he sees him on the Death Star in A New Hope, he's had many, many, many years of training, and like he sees himself as not the apprentice anymore, but like he almost sees himself in his own eyes as the master.
Yeah, so looking at the scene again, he doesn't say apprentices. Sorry, I was but the learner. Now I am the master. So he could even almost reference, like, if you want to give it a stretch, he could reference that he's the learner of the dark side at that point.
Yeah.
You know? Because he only just kind of turned to the dark side, overthrew the temple, and, like, went to Mustafar and killed people, and it was all in about, like, I'd argue a day. A couple of days, depending on how long space travel was between it. You know?
Let's just face it, between Anakin becoming Vader and him getting chopped up and put in that suit, he had a very shit 24 hours.
I guess it depends on how long between Vader and the rematch, if it does take place and stuff. I don't know. It'd be speculation at this point if it is going to be in.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
But yeah, anyway, so the short point of that is Obi-Wan is out now. For when people are listening, when this goes live. And I believe that does cover the news. For upcoming game, the news of new and upcoming games, movies, TV shows, D&D books / whatever. Also, reviews of new games, movies, TV shows, D&D books, and whatever.
Thank you.
That's a fucking mouthful. So,
It really is.
fellas, you know what's coming up now.
Aye. It's the player's choice.
Player's choice.
Player's choice.
Player's choice. Right. So, by now we all know the drill, but again, for our lovely listeners, I will reiterate it once more. We have a list, we have our names, we have a number assigned to our names. We roll a dice, and whoever it lands on picks a movie, TV show, anime, or video game that we all watch and play. Now, we might do this as a group together, or sometimes, like with Arcane, just logistically, sometimes we have to do it in our own time individually.
Yeah.
So...
Is it winner roll die, right?
Who's rolling that dice? Who's rolling that dice?
Is that how we did it, or did we just take it in turns?
I don't remember. I don't remember taking it in turns. We'll just do winner roll die.
Right. Oh, that's me then. That's me.
Well, didn't it be Sam because he picked Arcane?
No, I rolled last. No,
oh yeah, shit. Jesus
I'll
Christ!
roll.
I'm still
yeah.
All
right, Sam, roll the die. We'll always do winner stays on. Winner rolls.
It's me again.
3 is Sam again.
Fuck.
So you can either pick someone else or pick something. I'll say we do that.
What? God, why even roll? Why even make it random?
I do like the randomness. I do like the randomness to it. Well, guys, you know I said about obscure games.
If you suggest Indiana Jones.
No, it's not Indiana Jones.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we will arrange this and discuss it. We'll discuss it more. We'll sort it out. I want you to play a really stupid game that's for the Nintendo 64 called Army Men Sarge's Heroes.
All right.
I will. Yes.
There's on the PlayStation as well, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was all. Yeah. I think there is to it a multiplayer component. I'm not sure whether I could find a way to hash that one together, because I imagine the multiplayer side of it's been long dead. But it'd just be funny if we could get all three of us into a game.
It'd be funny. I've actually played this game before.
Oh,
long time ago.
Yeah,
long time ago.
Well, be good refresher. So yeah,
good refresher. Yeah.
Army Men.
It's funny seeing this because I think of Toy Soldiers. Did you ever play Toy Soldiers on the PS1?
I did.
That's good.
I did.
So it was the Toy Soldiers movie, but like small soldiers. That's it. Small soldiers.
Yeah.
That's the one. Anyway, yes, cool. We need to write that down then.
Yes. I'll help you with that. I've
Cool.
I'll do it.
So what point are we playing up to on Army Men? Like, what's the objective?
I'm not going to say there's an objective because it's more just like match based. So I'm going to say play at least an hour of it.
Okay.
Or 2 hours. No, 2 hours, anyone? Actually, no, make it an hour. Make it an hour.
Make it an hour and they can play more fun.
Yeah. At minimum, I want us all to at least play an hour of it.
Yeah. All right then.
So,
sounds good.
Yeah. And that is my, that's what I've picked.
That's the pick. Nice.
Cool. That's the podcast.
Cool. Yeah, that's the podcast.
So, as always, guys, after Nick wraps it up and says it's a podcast, I need to go and get myself a drink. You know what that means, don't you?
Yeah.
Barking!